Shalom, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rabakah Kodash, double honors to El Apostle, great millstone, to do well. Peace, love, and blessings also to you brothers on the highways and byways, giving all diligence to make your call and election sure. And also blessings to the very few sisters out there listening, learning, and believing. I'm that fellow Labor Kanaklag, and once again coming at you with another lesson, Lord's will through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai's lessons edifying and exhorting. This would basically be a quick World War III update. The end of the world, meaning the end of this age. The end of Esau Edom's reign. All right, Esau Edom, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9. The end of Esau's world. Esau is going by the name of Europeans today. Okay, those are the Edomites that the Bible speaks of. Real quick, here it is. As you can see, the small hats, you see the name there, killed senior Iranian general in Syria airstrike. So this happened today, or if not, late Sunday. All right, it says the barbaric Zionist regime will pay for the death of Saeed Razi Mousavi, Iran's Revolutionary Guards have said. All right, so they're already, seeking a revenge from Soleimani. All right, so this is just another, how can I put it? Another, basically a fanner, if you will, to fan that flame of fire, to rise that flame of vengeance. All right, that Iran and all these other nations are going to bring upon, all right, great Satan, little Satan. All right, the U.S. and Israel. It says Israeli warplanes struck the Syrian capital of Damascus on Monday. So that was today on so-called Christmas, killing a senior Iranian commander. Iran's elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said that the General Saeed Razi Mousavi was in Syria to support the anti-Israel resistance front. All right. News of the strike was first reported by Iran's Tasnim news agency and confirmed shortly afterwards by the IRGC a few hours ago during a criminal missile attack of the child-killing Zionist regime on Damascus. Okay, so you see them. See what they calling them. Hopefully this video don't get flagged. I'm just simply reading the article, but you never know. It says Brigadier General Saeed Razi Mousavi, one of the IRGC's senior military advisors, was martyred, the IRGC statement said. At the time of his death, Mousavi was responsible for supporting the resistance front in Syria. All right, and I'm not going to read this whole article. All right, but you see another key player, if you will, of Iran that was just now assassinated. So you can only imagine how, all right, they're feeling. Okay, so this is, you see these people, they're furthering the war. They're not they ain't chilling, so to say. All right, they keeping this thing moving, they keeping this thing hot. So World War III is hot. All right, and this is just a further escalation of it. So real quick, the scripture I want to get, we'll come back to 2nd Ezra 15 and 28. Let's go from Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. And you already know I'm going. Jeremiah 50, verse 45. And you can see why this prophecy will take place. Because Iran is going to retaliate sooner or later, man. And it's going to be with force. And basically, America's not going to have no choice but to basically back Iran. And Iran is backed by Russia. All right. Chiefly Russia. When you got China and you got, all the other members of that military coalition. Okay. Jeremiah 50, verse 45 says, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, that he have taken against Babylon, and this is against America, and his proposes that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, and the least of the flock, all right, will be your small hats over there, all right, that you have to support militarily, that welfare state, all right. It's basically living off the U.S. taxpayer dollars. We're supporting them. Talk about welfare. We're supporting them with our tax dollars. That's all your money is going. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. It says, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, because that's the missiles that's going to hit this place. Okay? And the cry is heard among the nations. But the point being, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So what you think Iran is going to get ready to do? Okay? It says they will pay for the death of them. So sooner rather than later, okay, Iran is going to retaliate. That's just how it is. It's going to happen. So I'll get, what is this? 2nd Esdras 15 and 30. Real quick to show you Iranian prophecy. 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 30. We'll start at 28. It says, behold, an horrible vision and appearance thereof from the east, all right, from the Middle East. All right. It says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia, and that's all those Ishmael, all right, the Arabs, descendants of Ishmael in the Bible, all right. You read about Ishmael in the book of Genesis. It says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. It says also the Carmanians, and you look up Carmanians, right? We're going to prove everything we say. Second Esdras 15 makes reference to the Carmanians or Carmanians. These were people of Carmania, a fertile province of ancient Persia. Now, that was Iran's name, all right, at one point in time, situated on the north shore of the Persian Gulf. So this is clearly talking about Iran, because that was Iran's name, all right, prior was Persia. Then they forgot exactly what year they wanted to change their name from Persia to Iran. So also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join the battle with them. So Iran is going to join the battle, right? Because at the end of the day, they all basically, it's the Muslim world against the Zionists. It says, with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, all right, which today this would be Babylon the Great, aka America. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And the prophecy of the dragons, Ishmael, it says, Ishmael shall be a wild man. His hand shall be against everyone. So Ishmael is going to go back into that wild state, all right. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. All right. So I'm gonna stop there on that one. But basically, you can see, prophecy, taking place. What else I had here? 2nd Esdras 9 verse 14. Saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of man. And the third part of man is the wicked, right? Esau, Edom, all right, that whole, this whole European power structure. They represent the third part of men. I'm going to read this in the NLT, to verse 15, in the NLT, Revelation 9 and 15. It says, then the four angels who have been prepared for this hour and day and month and year, all right, they translated that pretty good, were turned loose to kill 1/3 of all the people on the earth. All right, so it's prepared for this hour and that day and that month. All right, so it's there's coming an hour. We're approaching that hour, that day, and that month and that year, where the third part of man, Esau, Edom, he's going to be destroyed. It says in the number of, back in the KJV, Revelation. Matter of fact, I'm reading 16 because this basically proves what the apostles, the interpretation that they've been breaking down is accurate. All right, now they go off a little bit, but they got the number right. Revelation 9 and 16. And I heard the size of their army, which was 200 million mounted troops. It say mounted troops, but it's talking about the missiles. Okay, but the number of the missiles that's going to hit Babylon the Great is 200 million. Okay, so Revelation 9 and 16, back in the KJV, it says, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of ginseng and brimstone. Okay, so this is a description, a metaphor of the description of the missiles. All right, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. All right, so these are similes. This is describing something, and the heads is the representation of the warheads. It says, out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these were the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. Verse 19, for their power is in their mouth, in the warheads, okay, and in their tails, because the tails is the rocket system, the thing that propels the missile from continent to continent. All right. It says, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. The serpent move in that pattern. All right. And that's how those missiles take off. All right. Tails like serpents. All right. Because what propels a snake, all right, it's his tail, him moving his body, all right, in that fashion, that swiggly type fashion, all right, and that power transfer all the way down to the end of his tail, and it just keeps going. He keeps making that movement over and over and over, all right, and the power of what ends at his tail is like sort of like a whip, all right, but the power is in the tails, right? They had tails like serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt, because that's where the heads, that's where the destruction, all right, is going to come from, the heads. It says, and the rest of them, of the men which were not killed by these plagues, because these missiles, all right, is the last plague that's going to come upon Babylon the Great, because there's a series of plagues that's going to hit America pursuant to the Bible, but the missiles will be the completion of those plagues. It will be the last one. It says, Revelation 9 and 20, it says, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands. All right, and that's the elites. Okay, mainly talking about the elites, but also, all the other high-level Edomites around the world as well. But it's mainly talking about the elites. It says, they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. And that's all these deities, these idols that Esau Edom worships, that he receives his power from, devils, demons. It is neither repented they of their murderers. And that's what Esau Edom done. The elites, they just murder, they sacrifice, right, people unto these idols, unto these gods. That's what happened during 9/11, 2001. Okay, it was a sacrifice. All these false flag events, they're all sacrifices. It says, neither repented of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. So their fornication, they push around the world. All right, their philosophies that they share with all the other nations, and their thefts. You know, they go around, they steal resources, lands, and people. But that's it on that. But I got to jump up to the 12th verse. Revelation 9 and 12, it says, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. And as we read, the third woe, because 1 plus 2, what equals 3? All right, simple math. So this third woe, the second woe is already past, the Second World War, but we just read about the third woe. All right, and that's going to be by the missiles. So here's the further escalation of this war. All right. So expect something to happen. Expect retaliation. All right, and it's gonna come swift, to the point America's gonna have to step in and help them. Okay, because Iran is a strong nation. So I'm gonna leave it there. Lord's willing, was edifying, giving all praise.